So I don't make desserts very often, but I've been craving some Rice Krispies Treats, so here's how I make them. They only had the large size box. Normally I wouldn't use that, but we're going to also need 1 stick of butter and then 2 bags of these jet puffed mini marshmallows. The minis melt a lot easier. Normally I would like to use the regular size box just because the proportions are a little better, but all they had was this large size, so these are going to be a little extra Rice Krispiers compared to marshmallows, but it works out totally fine. First step though, we're going to melt this butter down. I'm using my wok here because it's the only thing I have large enough to cover the amount of Rice Krispies we're about to make. It's also in the process of being seasoned, so don't hate on me for how not dark it is around the outside. But we're going to melt this butter down, and we're going to let it brown a little bit. You don't want it to burn. You don't want it to really get dark brown, but we're just trying to bring out a little bit of that nutty, nice butter flavor. Right about there is as far as I'm going to take it. At this point, we're going to go ahead and add in a bag and a half of the marshmallows. I like to keep half of one bag set aside for adding in at the end, so there's some larger marshmallow pieces in there. That's what'll give it kind of that nice pull, like you see the stringy pull marshmallow. The bigger pieces you left over at the end are what are really going to help you achieve that. So save about half of a bag of these small ones for that point. But get these in lowish heat. You don't want to burn the marshmallows, and just start mixing them in with the butter. They'll really kind of incorporate nicely. Some people will melt these marshmallows down to the point of just straight liquid, like fluff. I like to keep it a little thicker. It mixes in totally fine. It just saves you some time, and it helps you not risk burning the marshmallows. Halfway through, right before they start to really hit that melting point, I'm going to add in a very small amount of just vanilla extract. Sorry, I block with my hand how much I'm pouring in here, but it's just 2 very, very small dots. And then right about here is as far as I like to take these. They're totally kind of becoming one big marshmallow. They're very soft. They're very malleable. These will mix in totally fine. You can take it further if you want, but it's just absolutely not necessary. This even has some larger pieces left in it, which will work in your favor. So at this point, we're going to add in that whole bag of Rice Krispie Treats. Make sure that the heat is still fine at this point, because as you're pouring these in, the marshmallows are still touching the bottom. And just start to gently fold these in.
Here's what you do. You just fold it in. It says fold it in!
That's all you need to do. It is a very, very easy process. Just try to not fling Rice Krispies everywhere, but just move them around, keep folding in. At this point, I'm going to add in that other half of a bag. Also, sorry for some of these blurry shots. I'm working on some new camera angles here, so we're just working through here. As you can see, some are getting a little darker brown because the butter and that marshmallow is still touching the bottom of the pan. That's totally fine. As long as they're not burnt, that's going to add a nice flavor to it. But right about there, that's all you really need to do. Once you see it kind of homogeneously mixed, we're going to pour it into any pan, any dish you have, or any. You can pour them right back into the box, honestly, if you want, and they'll take their form. But I'm just putting this into a regular, like, cake pan. Grab another piece of parchment paper or anything else you want. They're very sticky, so your bare hands will stick to them. And just use this to kind of compress them. You want to push it down. You want to really make a nice shape with this. Push it pretty hard until it doesn't give anymore. You really can't overpack these. I personally think the tighter they are, the better they taste. But leave them sitting out. This was about 20 to 30 minutes later. You can put them in the fridge if you want. You don't need to whatsoever. They're nice and solid now. The marshmallows have solidified. And just now cut them up into whatever size you want. I'm going to cut them up into about 9 big pieces. So I'm just going to cut them 3 lines straight across here, turn it 90 degrees, and cut 3 again. Very simple. You can cut a lot smaller pieces if you want, but we're just going to keep these big. I think they look nice big. And that's it. These are done. You can just store them in a Tupperware. These don't need to go into a fridge. These are good to go. Eat them. Look at that pull. That's exactly what you're looking for. See, that's from those big chunks of marshmallows that were left over. This is so easy. All in all, this took less than 20 minutes, not counting the waiting time for them to cool, but very easy, very gratifying, very rewarding, easy dessert. Make these, make everyone happy. They're so much better than the store-bought ones. Let me know what you guys think.